Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us on Velayat News. I'm Abroo Sabzwari, and now a look at the headlines for today. Syrian National Coalition's president expects advanced weapons to reach the Syrian rebels. Asiana Airlines says the pilot of the crashed plane was in training on his first flight to the airport on the 777 jet. In Pakistan, at least 80 people have been rounded up in the Lahore blast investigation. At least 5 people have been killed and more than 40 are missing after a train explosion in Canada. Mohammed Morsi's supporters and opponents continue protests in Egypt. In Pakistan, countrywide protests were staged on the Day of Loyalty and Solidarity with the Martyrs of Pakistan. UK will be the first non-Muslim country to host the Islamic Economic Forum. And now, the news in detail. The new president of the opposition Syrian National Coalition said he expected advanced weapons supplied by Saudi Arabia to reach rebel fighters. Ahmed Jarba, who has close links to Saudi Arabia, told Reuters in the first interview since he was elected president of the coalition on Saturday that the opposition will not go to a proposed peace conference in Geneva sponsored by the United States and Russia unless its military position becomes strong. Jarba added, "We are working on getting advanced and medium-range weapons to the Free Syrian Army and the liberated areas." He also offered Assad's forces a truce for the duration of the holy Muslim month of Ramadan, to stop fighting in the besieged city of Homs, where Sunni Muslim rebels face a ferocious ground and air onslaught by Hezbollah-backed troops and militias loyal to Assad. Homs, which is 88 miles north of Damascus, is situated at a strategic crossing linking the capital with army bases in coastal regions controlled by Assad's Alawi sect. After meeting a delegation from Homs, Jabra donated $250,000 of his own money to support humanitarian relief efforts in the city. Asiana Airlines said the pilot in charge of landing the Boeing 777 that crash-landed at San Francisco's airport on Saturday was training for the long-range plane and that it was his first flight to the airport with the jet. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board said the plane was traveling significantly below its intended speed and its crew tried to abort the landing just seconds before it hit the seawall in front of the runway. A spokeswoman for Asiana Airlines said the pilot has a lot of experience and has previously flown to San Francisco on different planes, including the B-747. The National Transportation Safety Board Chairwoman Deborah Hirschman said it was too early to say whether pilot error or mechanical failures were to blame for the crash. The control tower was not alerted to any plane issues. Witnesses said the plane appeared to be too low as it approached the runway, hit the ground before the runway started, and the impact sheared off part of the tail of the plane and possibly landing gear as well. Survivors of the crash were being treated Sunday for injuries ranging from paralysis to severe road rash. In total, 182 people were hospitalized and 123 others walked away from the crash landing. The number who emerged unharmed prompted the city's fire chief to describe it as nothing short of a miracle. The death toll in Saturday's Lahore Food Street bombing rose to 5 on Sunday. A device containing about 500 grams of explosives in a polythene bag placed beneath a deep freezer on the sidewalk in front of a food outlet in the busy old Anarkali Food Street went off on Saturday night. Police took more than 80 suspects into custody for interrogation. A 6-year-old girl was among those killed in the blast. According to witnesses, dozens of families were dining at the peak hours when the blast shook the locality. Of the 47 people injured in the attack, 11 were discharged from hospitals after treatment. Dozens of Afghans and Pakhtuns and food street workers were among those taken into custody during a search operation. Most of them, however, were not carrying their identity documents. Police intensified security around the city railway station, bus stands, Sunday bazaars, and important buildings and places. Inspector General of Punjab Police Khan Beg and Lahore DIG Zulfikar Hamid inspected the crime scene and gathered details of the investigation after Chief Minister Shahbaz Sharif saw an immediate report. Mr. Beg said police would ensure comprehensive security for citizens during the holy month of Ramadan. A police official told Dawn News that a group calling itself Baloch Liberation Tigers, led by Miran Baloch, had claimed responsibility for the attack in phone calls made to the Balochistan media and police. A freight train loaded with oil has gone off the track in Canada's Quebec province, leaving at least 5 people dead and around 40 missing. The derailment occurred on Saturday around 155 miles east of Montreal near the U.S. border and the state of Maine. It sparked thunderous explosions that destroyed dozens of buildings in the center of the town, including historical structures. The dreadful incident created a spectacular fireball, said witnesses, who reported as many as 6 major explosions during the night. An initial evacuation zone of 1 kilometer around the crash site was widened Saturday afternoon as a precaution against harmful particles in the air, bringing to 2,000 the total number of people forced to leave their homes. Following the incident, Mayor of the town, Colette Roy LaRoche, said in a statement that authorities did their best to control the situation and assured everyone that authorities and ministries were being very supportive. Supporters and opponents of Egypt's deposed President Mohamed Morsi have remained on the streets, holding protests as tensions continue to rise. Morsi's supporters held marches on Sunday to Rabia al-Adawiyya Square and Al-Nahda Square close to Cairo University, demanding his return to power. They also erected barricades and set up checkpoints across Cairo, where tens of thousands of them blocked the main road leading to the international airport. Anti-Morsi demonstrators gathered in Cairo's iconic Liberation Square and around the presidential palace. Opponents of the ousted president also took to the streets in Alexandria, on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, and in other major cities across the North African country. Meanwhile, Egyptian media reported on Sunday that Social Democratic lawyer Ziad Bahauddin has been offered to become Egypt's new prime minister. On Saturday, the official MENA news agency said that Egyptian interim president Adli Mansour had appointed al-Baradi as interim prime minister, but his office later denied that any final decision had been taken. Meanwhile, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has expressed concern over the situation in Egypt, saying Syria is already in the grips of a civil war, unfortunately enough, and Egypt is moving in that direction. In Pakistan, a countrywide protest was lodged on Friday, which was observed as a day of loyalty and solidarity for the martyrs of Pakistan, on an appeal from the Majlis-e-Wahdat-e-Muslimin MWM. Demonstrations were held across the country after Friday prayers. Protesters were carrying banners and placards outside the mosques and raising slogans against the terrorists and their allies. Maulana Hassan Zafar Naqvi, Maulana Mukhtar Imami, Maulana Didar Ali Jalbani, Maulana Sadiq Raza Taqwi, Hassan Hashimi, Maulana Ali Anwar, Mubashir Hassan, and other office bearers of the MWM spoke to protesters. They stated that the PMLN government has failed to formulate any policy against the terrorists. They also said that the idea of an all-parties leaders conference on national security is good, but such gatherings were also held in the past. They reiterated their demand that an army operation can be launched against the terrorists, adding that they deserve no mercy or leniency. At least 71,000 Pakistanis have been martyred so far due to terrorism in Pakistan. London will host the 9th World Islamic Economic Forum in October, the first time that the event will be held outside of a Muslim country, as the British capital looks to become a global hub for Sharia finance. More than 1,500 delegates, including government and business leaders as well as scholars, will head to London for the 3-day event, which sets out to boost trade partnerships between Islamic and European markets. Comments posted on the event's website, the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, said hosting this prestigious conference presents huge opportunities to promote London as a world-beating business hub, highlighting our status as a major center of Islamic finance and as a compelling destination for foreign investors. According to the website, Britain has the largest Islamic banking sector outside the Middle East and Asia. The World Islamic Economic Forum is organized by the Kuala Lumpur-based WIEF Foundation, a not-for-profit organization. Previous forums have been held in Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Malaysia, and Pakistan. And that brings us to the end of our bulletin. If you'd like to contribute your community's news, you can email us at news@VelayatTV.org. You can also get the latest headlines and more by visiting our website, VelayatTV.org, or subscribe to and follow us on our YouTube and Facebook pages, Velayat TV USA. Many thanks for joining us. Till next time, I'm Abroo Sabzwari. Fi amanillah.